Yo, yo, yo. Can anybody see me, hear me? It's a crazy morning. Crazy morning. I got a pretty cool little buck down there. Hey everybody. It's kind of crazy. I was going to show you my setup. I just had a doe move in with a buck on her. Literally right downwind right this second. She's actually looking at my bike. Real nice buck just came through. Right beneath these does. Didn't get to see him or smell him, but he was pretty nice. Had a brook G2. It's an awesome morning. This doe is right. I don't know. Can you guys see that doe down there? Directly downwind of me. These freaking ozonics are sweet. Might smell my bike though. My bike is right in front of her 5 yards. There's my bike. Check this out. Exactly downwind. Can't believe she hasn't smelled my bike. But as soon as this doe moves off, I want to show you guys. Can everyone hear me okay? You guys hear me okay with this new mic I got? Oh crap, bad audio. Hold on. Can you guys hear me better now? You guys hear me better now? Hey everybody. Can you hear me at all? Oh crap. Hold on. Can anyone hear me? Oh yeah, sweet, okay. Got two does directly downwind of me. Right there. I want to show all you my setup. A lot of you ask me how I set myself up in my tree. So I'm going to show you this whole presentation here in a minute. Show you how I got my camera, my bow hanger, everything. I'm going to show you exactly what it's like. I'm going to show you where I'm hunting today. Got a good feeling today. Hopefully going to whack a good one. Those does were literally directly downwind of me. They are downwind of me right this second. But all the way from Sweden, that's awesome. Are you guys okay if I talk this loud right here? It's about as loud as I'm comfortable with. I had a microphone, but obviously it didn't work. Alright, so let me show you my setup here. Here's what I got. I'm in this big timber draw. See that? That's my timber draw right there. And what I'm doing is, if you could see, there's a field across this draw. There's a field behind me. There's also a field to my right, a few hundred yards. So this is just a big Y of timber. So I got the wind in my favor. I rode about 2 miles in on my bike, and this is a spot that I actually killed that scissors buck at last year, if you guys remember. Wait, no, spurs buck. Killed that spurs buck actually the first day I got the Hoyt Defiant, I believe. But this is a really good area because it's not necessarily a bedding area. It's just a very high concentration of travel. Right now, as you saw yesterday, if you followed my social media, when it's this time of the rut, I really like travel routes. I've already had, well, he probably would have been about a 130 buck, but he had a broken G2. I had him come in already, and he was downwind to me. So I did not grunt at him. Pretty much a rule of mine is I don't jack around in the tree. I don't shoot squirrels. I don't rarely shoot a doe in any of my buck spots, only if she busts me. If she gets a little ornery and gets crazy and pegs me, she might pay the price. But I can tell you that this area right here is really good because I never come in here ever, set my stand one time, and I literally hunt this about 3 days a year. But here's how my setup is. I think those does are gone, so here's how my setup is. I always have my bow right here at my right side. You can see I got the knock to it today. So my bow is always right here at the ready. I can't stress that enough. People that have to reach around or reach up to get their bow, big mistakes. These big mature deer don't tolerate that crap. You can see I got my horns. Right there's my horns in a spot that I can literally grab them, rattle, and if something's coming fast, I can either set them there quick, right there, and then I go right down to this. So here's pretty much how I do it. Right here's my camera. Okay, so I got my right hand. My bow will be in my left hand, pretty much locked and loaded. The screen is facing me. So let's power this baby on. I got a GoPro for a wide angle on top, and that is nice because if you're filming yourself, it's not always perfect, especially during the rut. I think I should get an award for killing the deer that I kill, filming myself during the rut, because it's chaos sometimes. So here we go. Got that, I got this. That thumb remote is critical. You gotta get a thumb remote if you're gonna film yourself, because this allows you to just zoom. You can zoom, record, power off. You can focus. I got an old Muzzy. Right there, I got an old Muzzy tree arm. I think it's just the outfitter, but it's really nice because, as you can tell, I'm filming right now with a Canon G30. I try to get my kill shot with this G30. I don't have an extra microphone on there because once I get my kill shot, I'll go ahead and put a good mic on it and get some good audio for the recovery and all that jazz. But for the most part, I don't talk and stuff like that. So I'm gonna look through a few of your questions here. Yeah, it's my little, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I wish I had a little setup where I could put my phone on something and do a little rattle. It's kind of frosty right now. I love rattling. I rattle, just so all you know, I rattle about every 45 minutes to an hour. I'll rattle. I'll never rattle at a deer if the deer is here. I'll give you a example. So the wind is coming directly in my face right now, directly in my face. I'm hunting all this big Y right here, okay? It's a big Y. So let me give you a situation. I'm gonna spin the camera around. Since the wind is coming this way, if there's a buck from here all the way to there, I'll rattle. If there to there, I would rattle. Anything from here around, there's no way that I would rattle, because if you rattle, the first thing deer are gonna try to do is get the scent first, always. Last night I had a decoy set up. I always set the decoy up kind of facing me, but with its wind blowing to me, and I put the decoy out about 35 to 40 yards, because every single time the first thing the deer tries to do is get smell. The second thing they're going to try to do is look it in the face. They want to see. So they always come around right under me. I had a really cool hunt with Rogan. We decoyed a couple deer right in, just perfect, just like I said. Worked out awesome. This was actually the stand that me and Rogan got in the first night, first day. Sat the whole day. Had several bucks come through, but they were on a doe. And to be honest with you, I think because Joe's new, made a couple real common mistakes for new whitetail hunters. Just moving a lot. I can tell you, I always have my back to the tree like this. I always have my back to the tree. I always slide up and down the tree. I try not to separate myself from the tree. And you know, you don't want to start profiling yourself. Big deer walk, stop, and they look. That's what they do. And if you're fidgeting around, you have a high chance of being seen. I got an Ozonics above me. They're not a sponsor. I actually just recognized that I got my quiver on my bow still. I can tell you, I just rode in. There's my bike. Rode straight into the tree. But I'll give you a quick look here. What I normally do is I normally take this quiver off. Normally take my quiver off, and on these easy hangers, if you take your arrow out of the middle, you can put it right there, so that's all my backups. This bow, just in case any of you are asking about questions about my setup, this bow I actually had quite a while now, and I've got the first generation of arrow rests on there, making a lot of changes. Just so that you guys know, we're still actually engineering specifics on my new rest. I hope to have it out by Black Friday. I might take pre-orders on Black Friday, but definitely making some big changes. It's not the exact same rest. I've made a lot of cool design changes. The guys at AAE are working with me, and they're taking everything I say and putting it to use. But I'm gonna scroll through some questions here. Hey guys, appreciate all you guys. Hey Garrett Byers, if you want to talk some trash. Garrett Byers, by the way, is a really good buddy of mine, and he always likes to throw a negative comment in there just to see you guys get fired up. So he's kind of a troll, but he's a friendly troll. Let's see, what's the temp? I don't know. I judge the temp on whether or not these are frozen. They pretty much drip the whole day, but they're not frozen, so it's above 32. Yeah, I need a recording booth up here. That'd be sweet. Alright, so yeah, I said right now I got the Canon G30. I also like the XA20. These are all you need, guys. Here's my backpack right here. I'll tell you, on my backpack, that backpack right here, and I don't know if they're gonna keep making them, I bought 3 of them because I don't think there's going to be a better backpack for me and how I travel and how I go in. I'll just show you quick here. So I've got a lifeline too. Make sure you guys have lifelines to the top of your tree. For God's sakes, don't get hurt. Me and Sharon have both fell from trees when we went and hunted with guests, and they had bad steps that pulled out or something, and we're both really fortunate to not break our backs. But I'm going to show you this pack. This pack right here. I put my horns on this side. Finding a way to put your horns in a tree or in a bag is a pain in the ace. So I'm going to show you how I do it. This, just for taking rattling horns, this backpack's almost worth it. But I'm going to show you here. Sorry, I got to keep my head on a swivel. You guys might be live with me when I shoot a 200-inch whitetail, which would be really cool. I don't know how I'd let you guys see it, but I'd figure something out. I'd maybe put you guys under my hat or something. I'd try to do it, but here's how this works. All you gotta do, you put these horns in this bag, and then this little strap right here, just like that. Your horns are in your backpack. Horns are in your backpack. That bike down there, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's I know these bikes are expensive, but man, do they change my hunting. I literally rode that bike all the way to this stand this morning, came in, literally most of my stands, what I'll do is I'll take a small little push lawnmower. I got an old Toro lawnmower, and I've got it set to the lowest setting, and I'll mow a little path. Let's see, I'll show you. Right there it is. I'll mow a little path through the woods. I'll push mow it a few times in the summer just so there's no stubble or briars, and I can just ride right in. And I can tell you that this year I did just, I think, right at 1,000 miles on my bike throughout the summer, and I don't use the e-assist if I'm doing a workout, but I can tell you that my elk hunting changed dramatically because my legs were so in shape for driving and pumping my legs. The bike had me in way better shape for elk than I've ever been compared to running. I normally run 3 to 5 miles a few times a week, but that bike, just riding 10 miles a day is what I did because I rode to the gym and back. Man, going up and down those hills was so easy. Yeah, I wish. Hey Hugo, start your barbecue, man. If you're stuck in a voting line, at least you're voting, buddy. That's good. I gotta do that tonight when I get out of this tree. I'm in here for the day. Since you guys are with me, I'll just show you what I got. Let's sit down here. So here's my little bag. I got a Yeti with 3 cups of coffee. Then I got 2 Omega bars from On It and 2 of the Tonka bars. I won't eat those until it's middle of the day because it's in that bag. Then, last but not least, is a PB&J. if you don't have a PB&J in your hunting backpack, something's wrong with you. Those are the bomb.com right there. Oh, hey everybody. By the way, I just got a email from Onnit. This is really cool. I just got an email from Onnit, and they're really digging the podcast. They like the podcast I did with Rogan, and Onnit has offered a 10% discount for all the Knock On Nation. All you have to do is use promo code Knock On, and bam, 10% off your order. That's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, let me see if you got any. Yeah, check out that beard. Look like an old trapper, like an old turd from up in the mountains, what that looks like. Let's see here. So someone just asked a question, do I use scent? I do not use scent. I do not use scent. I'm pretty much, I can tell you what I really like is that dry wash bag from Ozonics. What I love about that bag is that I can, for the first time, I can set my bow, I can put my camera, I can set my backpack in those suckers, and I can put that Ozonics on, and I leave it on overnight, along with my clothes. And that's all I do. I try to be contaminant free. Don't believe in scents, foreign smells. At least I've never found one to work. I know that sometimes they work, but honestly, there's a difference between shooting 2- and 3-year-old deer and shooting 5-year-old deer. And that difference is all those little things. Scent, what I love about the bike is that I'm not putting my footprints down. It's quieter coming in, but I'm also not walking. So if any deer cross my path for that 2 miles that I rode, then I'm not having to worry at all about that deer freaking out and blowing out of the country. You got to keep your deer in the country. Let's see here. Hey Timka, it's tater time. I was gonna wear my one of my new shirts, but it's too cold. It's too cold today. Nick Aubrey from the UK. Hey man, I was thinking about going to the UK for Christmas time. See my family, Sharon's family. Miss all the UK friends I got. Let's see, you guys. Let's see, Jed just came in, so if you guys want to see the setup one more time, if you're tuning in late, I'm going to give you my setup. Here we go. Okay, there's a field over there, creek goes up, there's a field behind me. This timber's really wide, and it necks down right here, big neck down. And then right over here is a high ridge that bails down into a big creek system. Wind is directly in my face, and well, that's about it. I can tell you that the deer have been moving mid to late morning, and I told you guys that in my whitetail prediction based on the moon. The moon is coming around to a very good cycle. Evening movement has been minimal, but it is going to get better. It is going to get better. I don't hunt food sources during the rut in the evening. I really like travel corridors. I like thickets. Yesterday I was in a big thicket. I had one mowed path. Again, that mowed path allows me in on my bike, but it also lets the deer have a very easy path. Deer, like goats, if you give them a trail, they'll take it every single time. Let me show you guys something else I got. Hold up. So this is what I got. Let me see if I can zoom. You guys see that? There's a trail right under that tree. It's 22 yards. See over here? There's a trail there, 23 yards. There's another trail up there, 35 yards. There's a trail right here, 20 yards. Then there's a trail right there. Yards. That makes a world of difference, man. During the rut, when these bucks are flying by on these does, you got to be able to act fast. And I can tell you, if you're a whitetail hunter, then honestly, like Rogan was here, and one of the comments he said was, because I've had this discussion with him many times, I've had the discussion with him about single pin sights versus multi-pin sights, and he looked at me after the first day and he goes, I get it. Single pin sights, if you're hunting in this type of terrain, is just a guessing game. It's almost an impossibility. You're not going to be able to move that sight fast enough, and unless you're practicing nonstop with your bow and you know height and so forth, it's not going to work. So what I did with Joe is I had him set his sight at 25 yards. We went to a target at 20 yards. I had him shoot it so he saw exactly how high he shot. Then what I did was, on his particular bow, I wanted to see how low he would shoot at 30 by holding that pin on the exact spot. And on the new Spot Hog he had, it had a yellow pin as a second pin, and when his sight was set at 25, that second pin actually worked for 40. So it was a lot better because you were able to, know that you could hold armpit or hold top of the back depending on 20 or 30, to hold dead center at 25 or mid 20s, and then you got a 40-yard pin. But I can tell you, I much rather have my multi-pin. That sight right there, that sight's 20 years old. I got that sight from Steve Gibbs before he died. He was a great person for the sport of archery. He was one of the ambassadors, developed a product that no one ever had that good at the time. And I love it. I keep shooting it. I got a lot of sentimental value in that. Let's see. I kind of want to rattle, but I don't know where I'd put you guys if I rattled. I need to be able to put you somewhere. See what happens. I bet you anything, if I rattled right now in this kind of a morning, we might get something coming in. But let's see. I'm just looking through all your questions here. Let's see, I'm going to the bottom, guys. Let me see these questions. And hey, sorry my podcasts aren't coming out as often as I'd like, but this is the time of year where, well, I've been saying that for 2 months, but I take time for myself. That's the reality. You guys want to know what this is? This is a brand new product that my buddy Corey Friesen sent to me. It's freaking sweet. It's just like what you see with your eyes. It's a third-person camera. All you have to do is switch it to on. If you put it to the on position, it's recording. Same vision as your eyes. I've been using it to ride in on my bike, and I also use it when hunting. The only problem is when I bear down in my peep and I'm looking sideways, it's not able to get the kill shot. But for rattling and all that kind of things, it's really cool. It's called UHWK, UHWK, and the software for it is a little bit primitive, kind of sucks, but when it comes to actually recording, it's pretty good. I've got one of the first ones, so it beeps really loud, which I don't like, but if I see a deer soon enough, I can turn it on. Yeah, I do live in Iowa, Jason. Let's see. I'm looking here. If you guys want to see my stand, I'm going to show you here. I just saw Jason. Jason asked to see my stand, so here it is. There's my camera stand. Obviously no camera guy. Here's my stand. Lone wolves are the best, in my opinion. But here, I'll tell you what I do. So I always set the platform of the camera stand level with the seat of the shooter stand, and I always try to make it so that climbing sticks come up right between the two stands, and I have the shooter stand off to the right, or the camera stand off to the right. So you can see it there. And with this camera arm in between, it works really good because I can film myself, or I can move it up slightly if the camera person is here, which I don't ever have a camera person, so it kind of sucks. What's the coolest thing I've ever seen from the stand? Whew, that's a tough question, man. Warren, I've seen so much cool stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I've seen everything from eagles picking off squirrels off the ground to buck fights to some of the craziest like turkey fights and stuff you've ever seen. Just getting to see like bobcats. I saw a bobcat one time. Actually, I don't even know how it was there. I think it was there the whole day, but I saw a bobcat in picked beans jump up and grab a dauphin by the neck. The dauphin went running off with the bobcat hanging on it, and it ended up shaking it off, but that was pretty cool. A sunrise like this is cool. If you've got a sunrise like that, it's really cool. I mean, what more could you ask for, being in a tree stand? The other thing too, I'll just tell you, this stand location is pretty far from food sources, so I know that this hunt only gets better and better throughout the morning. Can't get discouraged. My game warden the other day, he sent me a message about 9:30 saying that he checked a bunch of guys coming out, and they said they weren't seeing much. And I said, well, that's because they're coming out. If you're coming out of your stand at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're missing out. So I did film both of Joe Rogan's first whitetails with his bow. It's pretty cool. We killed his buck at 11:50 in the morning. He was a little fidgety, but I told him, listen, this is when I see the deer. These deer wait for the does to bed down. They'll bed those does down. If they're done breeding her, they hit their feet. A lot of times that's between 12 and 2 o'clock. It's just how it is. I know it's not the funnest, but that's how it is. What would be my number? Hey Chris Golden, welcome to bow hunting. What would be my number one piece of advice? My piece of advice is this. Here's some real essentials to being successful. One, if the wind is not favorable, don't risk it. You might shoot deer and you might see deer, but if you want to kill big deer, you can't blow that animal out. One time is all it takes on a mature deer. On that big 6x6 that I shot, that was only the second hour that I'd hunted, and I had pictures of that deer on that particular farm, and I put up a stand. I got I've got a couple pictures of them coming and going past that little location. So I actually went in, I hung a stand just for that deer. I went in with my tractor. Here's another thing. I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of stuff, not just one. So I don't do shit on my place or any farm that I hunt for that matter if it's gonna be favorable for my neighbors. So I only ever check cameras or I only ever move stands on super rainy or super windy days. I'll never do it on a weekend because I know people are hunting, and I normally try to go in with some type of a farm vehicle. If I have permission on a farm, I'll ask the farmer to take me in, give him a little bit of money, whatever, but go in on some equipment. I'll make my change. I'll come out. That day that I killed that buck, my camera guy was here, and I kind of thought I needed a camera guy in that particular spot. So I told him the wind was good, and I said, we're either going to kill that deer tonight or I'm not going to see him the rest of the year. And I said that because he was coming to a standing cornfield, and I knew that if that deer didn't come by us during the daylight, then that means he's really close by when we would have to leave, and leaving that stand probably would have blown that deer out for the rest of the season, or at least pushed him nocturnal again until the rut. So your entry and your exit is so critical. I love the bike, low impact. Everything I do is low impact, low invasiveness. I can tell you I grew up in Mississippi, okay? And in Mississippi, the deer down there are on a whole new level of psycho. If you can shoot a mature deer in the state of Mississippi, you should win an award, because those things have had every redneck chasing around for their entire life, and they're smart as heck. And I can tell you, if you want to get one, you have to be low impact. You got to go in the dark, come out in the dark. I sit all day for a reason. It's not necessarily because I want to see deer. I only come in and out in the darkness because I don't want stuff seeing me coming and going. It's extreme, but I've been fortunate to always be able to get my number 1 or number 2 deer that I've scouted throughout the summertime. So play the wind. If it's risky, don't risk it. Not if you've got a good deer. If you're just new to hunting and you want to just go hunt, then I can tell you a great time to go is after season to scout an area. Really look at the trails. You can see trails really good in the wintertime, and pick a tree. Put a little spray paint on it or something, and then pick a tree that you can come back on. So I don't know how much I've boogered up my hunt this morning with this thing, but I think I'm being quiet enough and I can see far enough where I'm not messing anything up. Yeah, so Keith is saying he hunts in New York, and it's hard to hunt the wind in there. If I'm honest with you, Keith, it's the same here sometimes. That's why I'm on this high ridge. I can tell you, if I could be right down there or right down there, I could shoot every single deer I see from the stand, because they commonly go down along that main trail or they cross that creek down there. Creek crossings are awesome. The problem is the wind. I can't get down there or the wind swirls. So I can't. I have to stay on the high ground. And sometimes if you have areas like that, you can only hunt them on real super windy days so that the wind is actually constant and not swirling. This morning, I actually rode to another stand that was closer to where I was yesterday. I rode there first. I got down in there, and the wind wasn't strong enough to actually keep the wind consistent. I went to my stand, I stayed under my stand, and I sprayed my wind checker out in the little, like, kind of the little opening where I knew the deer would be coming through, and the wind was just swirling. So I just got back on my bike, headed to this spot. So you got to stay on the high ground. I know it's not always favorable, but you got to stay on the high ground unless you have a super strong wind. Then you can get in those lower spots and you won't have to worry about the wind switching as much. I'll tell you guys another thing that I really like. So I also checked cameras this morning. I can tell you this right here, right there, that's awesome. Stealth Cam makes that. Plug it in your phone, download an app, and you can view your photos, and you can scroll through them fast. So when I ride in, I normally have cameras on the way to my stands. I'll stop. I always have an SD card in my pouch. I'll throw a new SD card in the camera. I'll pull the SD card out, and then I'll get in my tree and I'll scan the photos. Really important. You kind of know what's in the area. Love the ozonics. Let's see. Well, how close to my stands do I use my bike? Steve's asking. Well, oh. About that close. As long as you keep it outside, keep it scent free, that thing can work good. So I'm getting ready to bail here. Ozonics. Hey Jason, if you watch the beginning of this, the very beginning of this live feed, go back and watch it again. Right at the beginning, I had 2 deer directly downwind of me at 10 yards. I sprayed my wind checker. They were directly downwind, and it was working, guaranteed. There it is. So, all right, my peeps, you guys are awesome. Put in a dip and spit like Chris Brackett. That's stupid. I'm gonna keep it normal. No showboating for me. Arrow rest. You guys might come in for whoever tuned in late. Arrow rest. I'm hoping that we can get some here by Black Friday, or at least be able to take the pre-orders for Black Friday. But I know we'll for sure be able to have some by the first part of December, guaranteed. So, thanks everybody. I'm gonna check out of here. If I whack something, I'll take you guys live with me on a little selfie recovery. So thanks everybody, appreciate it so much, and have a good day. Have a good day at work. Go vote, and get in a tree if you can this afternoon. Let's make it happen. See you guys.